Hello and welcome to your weekly tournament hype show. My name is Paul, your host. This is the Warhammer Meta Chasers. I'm joined by Adam Camilleri.
G'day, everybody.
And Dustin Henshaw.
G'day.
Oh, apparently a pair of Australians.
No, that was pretty good, right? That was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
You couldn't tell that wasn't Adam.
Couldn't even tell.
Look, if it wasn't for this video, we would welcome everyone to the live show. We have some amazing events to talk about this week. This is, coming off of a weird week last week. Like, what is this meta going to look like this week? If you were following along, you know what the events we covered. And if you were at the event, you know what won. And another way to find out what won is join us on Patreon for the part 2 of the shows. If you want to do that, we'll talk more about that later on in the event. How are y'all doing this week?
I can't wait for the week to be over, but I'm... We're getting there. It has been a long week, but I'm excited to be here. This is one of my breaks, believe it or not. It's a lot of work, but it's a break kind of from the daily grind, right?
I feel very much the same. I got day job is hectic, and I'm just glad to be here talking some nonsense with my mates about it, the game I love.
Well, you came to the right
this
place.
Isn't nonsense. This is
nonsense?
The real the bottom line facts.
Nothing could be more serious than
Nothing
meta
could
chasing.
be more serious.
Oh yeah, meta chasing. It's a life.
It's an art.
Yeah.
If you want to see some Warhammer happening this weekend, War Games Live will be at Clutch City, so tune in, see the coverage of that. Always cool to see the players doing what they do, and Joe doing what he does. We're going to be covering 3 events in one way or another this weekend, or on this show: the South Coast Super Major, Clutch City, Toronto Winter Open. I guess it still is winter, isn't it? Well, when is the first day of spring in Canada? Y'all have a different spring?
I don't think so, but it definitely would last longer a lot of times. But ours kind of started later this year. It was weird. But we're in winter right now, 100%.
Fair enough.
Can confirm.
Yeah, an event starting on the 2nd of March is definitely still in winter. Wild.
It's going to be like 80 degrees where I was at. I turned the AC on a couple days ago, turned the heater back on today. We're in Georgia.
Yeah. I took out the garbage in shorts and a t-shirt last night, but it was a snowstorm. I'm
okay. That's just you.
That's just me.
Give a couple of event shout outs. The Ogre Club Singles in Prague, Czechia. So 54 players, 5-round events there. And then Warzone Wellington, Upper Hutt, South Island, New Zealand, 46 players. That is just down the road from Jabba.
It is, literally. It's Jabba's Palace is just over the next hill. And Hobbiton's just over the one after that.
That is actually true, and I cannot wait to visit there someday.
But yeah, I've changed the format a little bit, and we might be testing this going forward. But instead of doing 2 events and 2 lists for each event, I'm going to be doing 3 events and 1 list for each event, and just see how we roll with that. Because I'd love to include more of the community, and
there's just so many events going on.
Dude, this week was ridiculous trying to pick events. I just managed to be like, okay, what's the biggest one in the States? What's the biggest one in Europe? What's the biggest one in, the next biggest one not in the States or Europe, which was Canada to this.
Yeah, we
have 60 plus player events literally all over the freaking world this week. It was very hard.
That's really cool. No, I get kind of asked all the times, like how much. Actually, I saw it in a comment when Games Workshop did their Meta Watch things. Like, how many events have been in the last 4 weeks? Like, you don't even know. Like, it's actually, you don't even know. There's a ton of events happening all over the place. Warhammer is on fire right now.
Love it. Love it. So exciting.
So let us know in the comments what type of formats or what types of events you want to see, because that's what, look, we want to hear what y'all want to say, because we're going to bring you the pulse. But I think, Adam, what you're highlighting is more of that pulse, talking about the factions and what your people are bringing in various parts of the world is what we want to see.
Exactly right. Whilst the meta is so much fun to unpack right now, we should unpack as much of it as we can. And that is definitely where we're at. We've got a different thing at the end of the show than our usual fuegos for you, though. So if you are watching this not live, you're watching this on the watchback, you have missed out on a bucket of fun. What are we doing instead?
We will be doing another guess those points trivia tonight. So get your 40K app ready and see how fast you are with that. But
that's in the chat.
This is going to be in chat. So the community, everybody watching live, you will be able to participate with us, compete against Adam and Paul to see if you can outscore them in this guess the points game tonight.
Oh, very nice. First event we're going to be covering is the South Coast Super Major from Waterlooville, which is outside Portsmouth.
Is England a real place?
very close to
Is-
me. Now I'm confused.
Is England a real place with names like this? How can they ever have been taken seriously? You're telling me we lost a war and got colonized by blokes from Waterlooville? I'm like, for shame.
I'm sorry.
But
So
yeah,
name some
it
of the
is- it is
places that where you live, Adam. Let's just. Do you
Wagga Wagga? What are you talking
there you
about?
go.
It's perfect on the
That's what I
journey.
thought.
Oh, man.
We ain't conquered nobody though. Peaceful people.
That's fair. That's fair.
140 players, 7-round event, approximately 69 miles outside of London.
Legitimately, the venue is 68.3 miles from central London. And I was like, oof, that's a stat.
That's stat.
Dustin, what are we going to see there?
We are going to be seeing in the Imperial Faction. There's one Adeptus Ministorum again. There's an Adeptus Ministorum guy just traveling around, only playing agents. Is this like you looked at this one?
Probably the same person.
It probably is. It has to be.
The second indicator that I can't take this place seriously.
There are
Sorry,
zero
continue.
Sisters of Battle. What? That's surprising.
They missed the memo. Sisters are really good right now.
19 Custodes, 4 Admech, 5 Astra Militarum, 11 Great Knights, and 2 Imperial Knights. Space Marines, there's 8 Adeptus Astartes, 5 Dark Angels, 3 Space Wolves, 3 Blood Angels, 1 Death Watch, and 2 Black Templar. Chaos is 1 Chaos Space Marine, 6 T-Suns, 12 Death Guard, 2 World Eaters, 8 Demons, and 1 Chaos Knight. Xenos, there's 10 Necrons, 7 Orcs, 5 Tau, and 6 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 3 Tyranids, and 2 Gs to their call. Oh, there's another one that popped up.
Doubled since last
Ooh,
another
another
episode.
one.
2 more Gs to their call players than our Sisters players here, guys. Just got to point that
Yeah.
out. Like, that's
Bizarre.
bizarre. Eldari, there's only 1 Drukhari player and then 12 Eldari, meaning the faction podium is Custodes, topping off at 19. And then the Golden Cliff has returned because second place is Death Guard and Eldari tied with 12, and then Grey Knights close behind them with 11. That is actually Death Guard. Where did they come from?
Well, it is still Europe, right?
True. Is this still Europe?
It's still,
Podiuming
it's still, yeah.
in a singles event, though?
I was going to answer Bob
Yeah.
Barrows.
Yeah, it is weird. It is, but Death Guard are getting a real big influx because I think they've been identified as one of the armies in the game with the most even results against the field. As in, like you
It
have.
kind of makes sense.
No, they do not get blown out by anybody. And so if you with good generalship, they are always in the game. And so that is what I think it's a very exclusive place that they exist upon because they have quality shooting and they can bring quality shooting, but they also have all the fight phase and merely nuance and shenanigans that only other merely specialist factions bring to the fore. They have all the weapons that are wielded by Custodes, by World Eaters in the the fights first and the multi-spectrum damage, in a bunch of different offensive outputs, and they have mortal wound dumps, they have extra durability, they have aura debuffs and buffs. They actually have it all. If you can make it work.
Like honestly, I would be so bold as to say they are probably one of the best tooled codexes for singles.
I agree, totally agree. And yeah, it's starting to show. And maybe this is one of the rare times the meme was true and Europe was ahead of the rest of the world by a little bit, because we have been saying for the last 3 months, like when there's triple the representation of Death Guard in Europe to anywhere else, we're like, it's so Europe. Look at them being all Europe, like with their Death Guard meta and stuff. Anybody surprised by over 10% Custodes? It's actually a ridiculous number.
Not
19
even a
out
little
of
bit.
140.
Not even a little bit.
Actually revolting. You have to probably beat them twice to win, is the what is likely. And yeah, then Grey freaking Knights making a podium position.
They've actually been making a bit of a resurgence too. I've seen them actually putting up results across the world. And they're another one that I feel like they have good consistency because they have a good mobility just built into them. It's just a matter of people finding the right combination because their codex, their index is that.
I think it's terrain, like really terrain dependent.
I absolutely echo that, Paul. It's terrain dependent in your ability to not make a major mistake.
Yeah.
Whereas there are a lot of other factions, other power armored factions, Death Guard, T-Suns, Astartes in particular, where you can not play perfectly and still get a great result. Grey Knights are not that army. Grey Knights,
no pain in that army.
Yeah, you make a significant mistake and you get 400
they have
points.
feel no pain against
blown
mortal
off.
wounds or something, or psychic.
Psychic.
So no feel,
attacks,
no
yeah.
pain in that army is what I'm saying.
No,
you got us.
I'm seeing a lot of people start to take the Dread Knights again, though.
Yeah, Dreadnoughts are back, man. Absolutely, Dreadnoughts are back. Yeah, definitely worth considering. They bring a premium flamer profile for overwatching. They're good in combat now, and their better gun,
They're
their actual
probably
gun, is
their
much
best,
improved.
They're probably their best anti-vehicle, anti-monster option. To be
Well,
honest.
they're apart from smacking it with 3 librarians, they're the only thing that's going to kill a transport,
exactly.
and that's the issue from range. If you play into a like. I played a lot of custodians, a lot of Grey Knights at the start of the edition and in testing for a bunch of different events, some WTC stuff and other stuff. And people were like, oh, maybe Grey Knights are good. And then someone put a truck on an objective and the guy's like, just swearing like, okay, I'm in trouble. It's just 10 boys in a truck on an objective and he's like sweating bullets like, oh man.
I don't know what to do. I got nothing.
No. Well, yeah, he has to run like a whole unit of paladins to go kill the truck and then cop beast bosses and knobs and stuff and like game's over. So yeah, that's one of the big issues. That's why Dreadnoughts are so impactful. But I pulled out one of the top players in attendance. Turns out one of the top players in the world. His name is Manny freaking Cheema, and he won the ITC for the year of 2023. So literally in the world, if not, one of the best ITC player in the world of the last 12 months. And he's bringing Eldari. So he's thrown off the shackles of the Chaos Space Marines, probably due to their nerfs, because this is a man who will only play at what he believes is the best or what he can get the most out of value-wise. And this is a skew to be respected, as we've come to know from the man. He's got his battle host. He's got Yvrain, so this is a Ynnari detachment. Single wave serpent, 3 units of fire dragons, 3 units of shadow specters, a single unit of 3 shroud runners, 3 single D cannon support platforms, 2 units of 5 swooping hawks, a single unit of 5 harlequin troops, 2 units of 5 warp spiders, 3 units of 5 scourge, all with dark lances.
There.
And that amalgam comes to 18 5-man MSU models, MSU units, 18 units.
Why don't more Eldar players take 3x5 Scourge? They are so good. So good.
What are they armed with, though? Is it the
dark
lances?
Dark lances, yeah.
They're dark lances. So you have the fire dragons and the scourges to do your anti-mech, and between them they're very good at the job, especially when 2 of those fire drag units are most likely in the wave serpent. And then you just have a swarm of value bringing, jump around, do whatever you want, super speedy, dynamic models. You look at the sheer like leanness of his one character only. I will not waste any points on anything that isn't a value bringing 5.
Well, think about it. The Farseers don't do what Farseers used to do anymore. You make up for what the punch of what the Autarch might have done with the Scourges.
Yep.
You're just taking the value of what is Yvrain. Yvrain is what unlocks to being able to take the Drukhari in the Eldari list.
And the Harlequins, the single 5 troop. But you 100%. Sorry, I think you can still. You
can take the Harlequins without. You need Yvrain to get the. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can take the Harlequin still. But I think that the Drukhari,
you are correct.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely dependent upon Yvrain.
But she's
not a slouch.
No, she's actually good. She is to be respected as well. And she will go with the troop. That will be her unit, most likely, because she doesn't really make sense in anything else, so to speak, because everything else is just vastly faster than her, whereas the troop can kind of just hang out and be a response piece for the middle. But this has just so many different offensive profiles. Everything is quick. Everything's also expendable. Like, he doesn't care. Anything in his army can be thrown away to flip an objective. 2, 3 units. At any one time can be thrown away. You've got a 5-turn game. This guy can throw away 3 5-mans a turn and still have like 3 left at the end of the game. It's ridiculous. And what I want to do is I want to point out that this is so much more of a feel of what Eldari is than we have had this edition. Eldari up until now have felt like they're either a better version of Imperial Knights because they're Wraith Knights list, or they're like a weird Custody Guard amalgam like soup list from 8th edition, because they were a unit of like 10 Custody Guard in the form of the Wraith Guard, and then artillery. And that was the list. It was like a weird Custody guard soup list. This feels and even looks like an Eldari list, and like one we haven't seen yet.
I can agree with that.
I'm terrified of it personally. This thing is disgusting. It's very strong. It's very strong, but I do love it. I love it because it feels right.
It feels right.
You know, I can respect it.
Nice.
And I struggle to think of a matchup where it's bad. I can think of some where it struggles. Like there are some Astartes lists. You know, I think of like the Ironstorm list that has like 3 Gladiator Reapers, and they will literally kill as many units as are in line of sight. Like a 1 Gladiator Reaper will be like 1 gun, 1 gun, 1 gun, 1 gun, 4 units dead. That kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But
but I
outside,
can tell you for sure that with the terrain, like the Eldar can
correct.
completely manipulate the lines of fire, and it really
Spot on.
limits the list like that.
Where funnily enough, the list that they hate is actually Grey Knights.
Well, listen, I think actually guard would be trouble for them with the amount if they have a lot of line of sight.
Yeah,
that would be
yeah,
a problem.
as well. Yeah. I mean, this list doesn't kill toughness 12 very well. The Scourges are, you know, the Dark Lancers are strength 12, and so toughness 12 can be a bit of an issue. But they can just be like,
You're talking about fighting knights, is what you're talking about.
Yeah, knights, Lehman Russes, stuff like that. But I mean, it can just circumnavigate them by be like, I'm just going to tie you up and make you shoot this nonsense, and or take away objectives with more OC and not care if you lose the models anyway because you got tons of them. So I think there's definitely a lot of levers this list can pull, and it is much killier than it looks on paper. Because you just look at this and you think it's just a bunch of 5-man nonsense units, and then you're like, oh my god, 3 or 4 of them popped out, and you know I lost a bunch of my army. I did not think they were going to be that deadly, because every model here has a good gun, except for the Harlequin troop who have good combat. Yeah, they've all got a relevant gun versus somebody. So I think this is a phenomenal list.
Nice. So what faction do we think is pulling it down? Who's going to win this thing?
Paulie boy, you're gonna pick first or for the entire event, mate. So you go for it. Sorry, for the entire episode.
Who's going to win this thing? It's like we've seen just big numbers out of Death Guard. We know Custodians on the rise.
So if I had to tell you, the best player in the world of the last 12 months is in attendance.
Yeah.
Should probably pick him.
Well, look, Eldari seems like a strong pick.
Dustin, what would you like, mate?
This is Europe. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm taking Death Guard.
Oh, I love it. I'm
doing it.
You do it, mate. Do I want to be the spicy boy? Geez, I'm with 19 Custodians. I'm going to be hard pressed to have one not make a podium. So I'm just doing the Custodians on the easy money.
That's fair.
The easy money. All right, gents, what's up next?
Yeah, next event we're going to be talking about is the Clutch City Grand Tournament from Houston, Texas, here in the USA. 158 player, 6-round event. What is going to be in attendance?
We are going to be having 6 Sisters of Battle, 15 Custodes, 4 Admech, 15 Astra Militarum, 4 Grey Knights, 5
That's Guard Country.
That's Guard Country. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it is.
Space Marines, there are 10 Astartes, 4 Dark Angels, 7 Space Wolves, 2 Blood Angels, and 5 Black Templar. Chaos, there's 4 Chaos Space Marines, 3 T-Suns, 10 Death Guard, 4 World Eaters, 5 Demons, 2 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there are 15 Necrons, 9 Orcs, 4 Tau, and 5 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 7 Tyranids and 3 G-Slicker. Where did they all come from? They're finally showing up. Eldari, there's 10 Drukhari and only 7 Eldari, which means the faction podium is Necrons, Guard, and Custodes tied in first with 15. Astartes, Death Guard, and Drukhari tied with 10 in second. Orcs in third with 9. This is me clapping for those of you that are not watching the video right now. This is friggin' brilliant. This is brilliant. That is
beautiful meta.
The best spread I have seen on this show to date, by far.
We always say, anytime there is more than 5 factions on a podium, that's a good meta. That's a beautifully balanced meta. We got 7 here. That's 7. A great time.
That's really nice. You pulled out one of the players here, Nathaniel Bjord, playing Tyranids.
Yeah. Yes, this is a dusty hand pass. Break this down and tell us how it works.
I mean, it's Unending Swarm, so they have Death Leaper, Neuro Tyrant, a Flyrant with Renalized Onslaught, 20 Gargoyles, 2x20 Hormigons, 3x20 Termagants. What are you laughing about?
Got it.
Did you say Flyrant?
Damn it!
Did you say Flyrant?
I read the freaking prompter. God,
I
hate myself.
Got him.
Biovore, 2 Exocrines, a Lictor, 22 Neurogons. I'm just sad now. 3 Raveners, 3 by Run Ripper Swarms, 3 Venom Throats, and 3 Zoanthropes. So, I mean, this is Horde. This is Horde like you've never seen. But it's something that's a lot of the Swarm lists used to be missing. It has Exocrines because a lot of people weren't bringing those, and it needs some killing power. It just does, especially.
They've been hard to find.
They are hard to find, but especially since
Yeah.
Purge is a thing, you need it, right? So it has how many bodies? How many bodies? 60, 120, 142, and then some medium stuff.
Yep.
And of course, they have the 2 CP strat to bring back one of the endless swarms, which generally is going to be the 20 gargoyles. Like you are throwing them away every turn to bring them back, right?
Correct.
So it's a good list. It doesn't kill very well, but it doesn't need to. That's the thing.
So that flying hive tyrant, what is it doing in here? Because to me, it looks like the misnomer. It looks like there's the one big gribbly in the sea of unending nonsense that is usually easy to get a line of sight on.
Well, he's there for 2 things. One, because he gives the free strat. And one of the free strats is auto advance 6. The other one is -1 to hit in close combat or in shooting.
Okay.
So that's good. Yep. Plus, he's also got his quote unquote psychic power, which is -1 attack to a unit, which when you're playing a horde is a big deal.
That's big. That's big. Yeah.
Why did you quote unquote that psychic power?
Yeah, I don't know why you.
Because it doesn't feel like a psychic power anymore. He's rolling it. You roll a 2 up. Don't roll a 1, and that happens. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
But yes, the 10th edition psychic power.
So the only weird metric I point out here is usually I see tunes of gargoyles. Apart from that, it's pretty much par for the course.
Yeah,
I mean, I usually see tunes of gargoyles a lot of the time.
Yeah, I actually read that in my mind as 2 units of gargoyles. So that is 20 gargoyles.
It's only 20.
Only one unit is 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's actually a big difference in a lot of lists, because a lot of the time you want the second one just so one you have the opportunity to bring back a second gargoyle squad if it dies, if you have no CP on the other turn as well, because you can throw more of them away, and 2, one of them might get battle shock before it dies and then you can't bring it back, and that hurts because you want the gargoyles to be coming back for sure.
Yeah. Just look at this secondary play nonsense. 3 single Ripper Swarms.
Yeah.
3 single 40 mil bases that are they're in deep strike. Yeah. They deep strike regular deep strike. That is such power. And then the Biovore. Like just
well, the Raveners.
That's all you need. Yeah, same. Yeah. Raveners because he's probably going to take, of course, behind enemy lines and
well, the Raveners get picked up every turn. They have the
jump in, jump down. Yeah.
And a regular lictor with rapid ingress is for free. It's also another small
it's so frustrating that like most players rip like investigate signals, and you're like, is this worth like trying to get 2 points on? And Nids is just free 12, free whatever. Hey, what it sticks with. Yeah. Free points. Whatever. Points.
Meanwhile,
it cost me 1 0-point unit.
Yeah, exactly.
1 whatever. What is a Ripper Swarm? What does a Ripper Swarm cost?
Yeah.
1 20-point model and a unit of Raveners that are not at risk because they're just going to bounce. Like, yeah, so powerful, man.
It's
very nice.
And again, like because it gets secondary points and then it just sits on objectives with its 142 models.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. But see, this is the thing that we're coming to in 10th edition, where we have armies that play the primary and don't play secondaries that good. Like Custodies is a good example of this, where it's just like we don't have the models or the flexibility due to having to play the primary, or we lose to go and play the secondaries, or we have armies that play secondaries and just saturate primary, which is what this one is. This one's like every secondary card is just in the bank, and all I need to do is stop you from running away with the primary.
Yep.
Yeah, not saying that they won't get strong primary themselves, but they care more about stopping you than scoring it themselves, because they're winning their points and they're winning the game off the fact that they're going to score a primary point. And we have armies that run the metric in the middle, like Astartes are very much running the middle of it, like most cards they can do. But even then, it's getting harder because scouts and inceptors are disincentivized because the points increases and stuff like that. But we're really getting a little stratified in people building for the mission a lot more than building for the meta, which I find is another exciting layout to the game.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. It's a great unending swarm list. I think it'll do extremely well. It's hard to deal with.
It shall.
What about one more? Bring this thing down. I'm thinking Necrons. I think with 15 Necrons, it's a solid choice. We did find out last week, though, that some people may have the Necrons number. Necrons did not put up the numbers we kind of thought they were going to, but I think this may be the week.
They were all over the top 10s, but very few podiums, like of the events that we covered. Yeah. They are looking like they are a ridiculously likely X and 1 like as in like you will get 4 wins, 1 loss, 5 wins, 1 loss. But people like, and we talk about this when there is and what was so crazy about the previous meta when we had, for a time it was Eldari and GSC, and then Eldari and Chaos Space Marines. When you have even just 2 factions at the top, it becomes a much harder prospect. When there is just one big boogeyman, people can coalesce like 700 points of their list to just answer the problems that faction brings, and it tends to be a lot more healthier. When you have 2 factions at the top, they tend to just bounce off everybody else and just interchange themselves.
Good point.
All right. What's going to win, Dustin?
I am going to go with the Astartes for this one.
This is trade ed country. I'm doing the guard.
I was thinking of doing that too. I just feel like with so many Necrons, and Guard do have trouble against Necrons.
I love you didn't read out the Oso Texas next to guard, did you?
I didn't know if that was intentional or not. I tried,
absolutely.
and then I absolutely read the freaking Flyrant later on. I just hate myself right now.
I'm sorry for causing such internal strife, but
like I'm already having a rough week, and then that happens, man.
We the people have benefited, so thank you very much. Very
Next
generous
event I want to call out here is the Toronto Winter Open from Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Close enough, yeah.
90 players, 6-round event. We're going to see stats similar to what we've seen before? What's the spread looking like?
We're going to find out. So the Imperials Reflection, there are 6 Sisters of Battle, 4 Custodes, 2 Admech, 2 Astra Militarum, 1 Grey Knight, 0 Imperial Knights. We have to point that out. Is that really that surprising? Yep. Okay. 90
players, yeah. 90 players, yeah. If it's 60-ish players and there's 0 anything, I'm not surprised. But 90, well, near 100 players and not 1 Imperial Knight, yeah, that's for me, that's unders.
Space Marines, there are 4 starting, 6 Dark Angels, 3 Space Wolves, 4 Blood Angels, 1 Death Watch, and 2 Black Templar. Chaos, there's 5 Chaos Space Marines, 3 T-Suns, 5 Death Guard, 3 World Eaters, 3 Demons, and 3 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 8 Necrons, 1 Orc, 3 Tau, and 1 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 3 Tyranids and 2 Gene Stealer Cults. Eldari, there's 5 Drukhari and 4 Eldari, meaning the faction podium is Necrons topping off at 8, Sisters and Dark Angels in second with 6, and then Drukhari, Death Guard, and CSM tied in third with 5. CSM
Another
making
beautiful
a pretty big resurgence here for sure. But yeah,
we've seen a wholesale like fleeing from Chaos Space Marines since the balanced data slate, and we have seen it be distributed throughout the Chaos super faction. A lot of people picking up demons again and giving them a shake. A lot of people moving on to Death Guard, 2000 Suns. Death Guard playing are not too dissimilar kind of style to where Chaos Space Marines were. Much more nowhere near as quick, but pulling a lot of the same levers. As in, like here's 3 or 4 good shooting assets and a bunch of melee, bully-ish units. But yeah, it's very interesting to see Drukhari hit that podium as well as Chaos Space Marines. So Drukhari is another one where I suppose people are just very ready to like play something apart from Eldari in that super faction. For the people who are dedicated
brand
to
new
playing
detachment,
those
lot of play, how they used to feel, or how maybe people think it feels in their
mind.
Remember,
this is Scari's backyard as well. So
it's true. That's true. This is going to be a very cool event. Now, the one list we did pull out for your viewing pleasure was one of our patrons. Very, very, very lovely gentleman.
Give a shout out. We got a sound effect right now.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. So legitimately, if you're one of our patrons and we're covering the event, we will cover your list. We will pull that bad boy out and we will pick it apart, put it back together, and tell you what we think.
If you're a certain tier of the patron and you're going to an event, we'll cover that event, like no matter what. Like so.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you're going to an event of 60 more players, we'll probably almost certainly cover it. Jaden Suffel. Probably got it wrong. Legendary patron of the Warhammer Meta Chasers, playing Death Guard. This is his Plague Company detachment. 2 Biologist Putrefiers, a single Lord and Terminator armor with the Living Plague enhancement, a single Foul Blightspawn, Mortarion, and Typhus. 2 of 10
I love
Plague
that they're
Marines.
Getting along nowadays. It's taking them 10,000 years to try to maybe patch up some of those differences, but makes me feel good they're getting along.
Indeed. Yes, Mortarion and Typhus. 2 Rhinos, 5 Death Shroud. So big unit of Death Shroud Terminators. 2 Bloat Drones with Flesh Mowers.
Yes, Flesh Mowers. That's
Love
what I'm talking about.
2 PBCs and 3 Nurglings in tow. It's a little bit more compact than what we're used to, but this is what happens when you go for a max unit of Terminators as well as Mortarion. Like
I was about to say, Mortarion, 5
It's
units.
just a
Terminators.
certain amount of points just wrapped up in that. But this is an interesting list. I do like the imposing nature of this. So there's the double rhino packages, each one against the blight spawns. The putrefiers, blight spawns, whatever. Big ingress threats in Mortarion and the Death Shroud, depending if you want to do it. I have seen a lot of people start to put, like, when the PBCs are just going to be indirect pieces, and if they come out, they get killed, and you just want to use them to harass and stuff. A lot of people are putting Mortarion into reserve and just like rapid ingressing him on the flank, because it's just such a hard job to go and answer, especially on turn 2 or turn 3 when you're spread out. And so he's got that coupled with the Death Shroud, which is a nice little combo I'm a bit of a fan of. I'm going to have a quick look at what the Terminator Lord does, because I'm not familiar with his data sheet or what his abilities are. Unless that one of you guys know off the top of your head.
Is that the one or is that the Sorcerer? No, we talked about the Sorcerer, wasn't the Lord?
Yeah.
Sorcerer, where they nominate somebody and get the thing.
So each time when they're leading it, each time modeling unit makes an attack roll, hit roll of 1, that won't come into effect because they've got flamers, but it will come into effect into combat. Whilst an enemy unit is within contagion range of this model, at the end of the turn, to roll 1d6 and a 4+, they take a smite. And I think that being D3 mortal wounds. I think the Living Plague enhancement has a much improved range. Add 3 to the range of the bearer's aura abilities, including Nurgle's gift. So contagion range will be increased by 3 inches. So he will just be popping off a bunch of pseudo indirect mortal wounds. So he's just going to be pop. I don't mind that at all, actually. That's kind of cute.
Like that a
in
lot.
fact, in the face of Catans and race and things everywhere, could come in key if he's putting out 2 or 3 D3 mortal wounds for a couple of turns. They
and being a sturdy frame in Terminator armor. So I mean,
true.
Sounds like
he's absolutely
nice
no slash. What he's T6? Yeah, T6, 6 wounds, 2 up, 4 up. In combat, he has Chain Fist or Plague Fist, whatever you want. Plague Encrusted Exalted Weapon. Never mind, it's a power weapon. No, don't take that one. But 5 attacks with a power fist, ain't nothing to be ashamed of at all. Especially with the -1 toughness or the -1 save, -1 toughness is all the time. -1 save coming into effect. Really quite nice. Yeah, I think it's cool.
I like it.
I love all these little little utility characters that keep popping up.
People are seeing this stuff. Well, they saw Thousand Suns. Like, I wonder if I have anything like that.
Yeah,
I'm definitely picking Drukhari to win this one.
The gentleman in question, by the way, Jaden is in chat. He's the who's your Canadian, as you could expect. From T3 onwards, that's a 12-inch aura off is he on a 50 or a 40? He's probably on a 50 mil base, yeah.
On the Terminator Lord?
Terminator?
Or maybe it's a 40.
40. It's a 40 mil.
Yeah.
Unless the Lord of Contagion is on a 50 mil.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
The crazy
Lord
is on 40.
It's 40.
Let's not get crazy here. That is 10 mils. Jeez.
That is 10 mils.
Watch out.
That's 10 mils.
But yeah, really cool list. It's got a few less tools than we usually see, as in a few less numbers, but it makes up with that with just having beef. Just like beef on the table.
It is chunky.
I think it's cool.
Chunky. And most importantly, it has flush mowers.
Well, you're exactly right. He's done it correctly. He's got the flesh mowers. But I just realized how that, how Typhus has that, you over there, take D6 mortal wounds. That actually combos with the Curse Lord. So, on a 2+, they take D6 mortal wounds, and on a 4+, they take another D3 mortal wounds. Then they take a grenade, then they take an extra grenade, and then they take a tank shock. And so it's just that layer of here's this the same as the MVSLs list. Here's just this, a handful of chances to just dump a bunch of mortal wounds.
Into that magic number to take one of those big, powerful models down.
Yeah, I like this list. I think it's cool. I think it's going to do very well.
I love it.
Cool.
I think it's great.
There we go. Yeah. So anyway, wrapping this segment up, I'm picking Drukhari. I hate to do it because such strong other players in there, but I think it's their time to shine.
If not here, where?
It's true. If not here, where?
Yeah. I mean, a smaller event with Scary in it, maybe there also, but here definitely too. I'm gonna go Dark Angels.
Oh, you damn it.
Dustin, you want to pick Astartes as well? You can do it, man. You were supposed to pick before me anyway. I'm sorry. You got Dark Angels.
I'm still doing Astartes.
Okay. Astartes. I will instead. Let me
you could do it. We're allowed to pick the same one.
No, I'm doing Sisters. None of that. Our prides. If we give up our pride and start picking the same faction, what are we? What are we really?
We're Meta Chasers.
Right.
We're just chasing each other's meta.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Anyway, that's enough. We're done.
All right.
did it.
So this is the part of the show where we normally say, "Hey, this is a take a word from our sponsors." We're going to sponsor ourselves. We've actually mentioned our Patreon a couple different times over the course of this episode, but that's a great way to, if you are so inclined and have the ability to support the show that way. Show takes a whole lot of effort to put together and work, and then produce, and then do. So that's a way to say thanks and what's up on that section over there. Links are in the show notes. Go check us out over there. Every tier is awesome. Certain tiers get you certain perks, including a follow-up show where we look back at this event, talk about who won, the top tens, some of the call-out lists that did really well. Really get an extra little spotlight on the meta itself. You can also leave some 5-star reviews wherever you're listening to us. Leave some comments. That's the kind of stuff that kind of tricks the aggregators into telling other people they should also come and hang out with us. It means a whole lot to us. Any of those things. And now we're going to get to the palate cleanser, the part of the show that sometimes has very little to do with Warhammer. Sometimes we do a rapid fire segment of questions and hot topics. Sometimes we do some weird trivia. I think we're going to do some weird points trivia for this time and maybe for the next couple of episodes.
We are redoing some trivia. So this is, as we've coined, the Guess Those Points trivia game. So
And, everyone watching live can participate right now
Yes.
as well in the YouTube chat. If I remember
that is a
right.
big, yes. If you're in the YouTube chat, you can answer along with us because this is the whole point of this. We want to get the whole community involved in these questions. Basically, there's going to be 10 questions in here. They are generally points related. Sometimes in terms of like how many rerolls you get on something, or it is all Warhammer related, and it is all very look upable. So they're trying to be
Not for us. We're like right here.
they're trying to be complicated enough that it won't be easy to do that. So just if you know it.
Because you're also like you get points based on speed of correctness.
You get
correctness and speed.
Exactly. You get speed and correctness. So the faster you type it in, the more points you get if you're right. And it's whoever's closest gets more points as well.
And there's a little bit of it, like we have a little bit of an unfair advantage in these seats because I think there's like a 3 or 4 second delay.
Yeah.
We can't account for that.
It's the same thing for them. Actually, technically, you're at a disadvantage because you'll have a little bit less time to answer. Because it's actually based on, or no, you have 4 seconds more. Sorry, so you'll have a.
It's the other way, yeah.
The other way.
I was going to say that's why we never win these things.
Yeah.
no, we don't win them for another reason.
So again, all you got to do is just type just the number in the chat, nothing else. Just type the number as your answer, press enter, and you're in. You'll have 30 seconds to answer each question. We have a 30-second break in between where I'll try to explain the math on some of them if it's a complicated one. And there's a couple of them that are a little tricksy, so don't be tricked. Don't be tricked.
Too late.
Too late. We already did it. Okay. Where did my thing go? All right, I got to pull this up. Oh, it just hit down the bottom. And as long as it works here when I press this button, it works. All right, here we go. We're going to be starting. It's Guess Those Points. And it's starting in, it says 0 seconds. Why does it say 0? I don't know why it says that. What the heck?
Look, we had a good run with this.
We had a good run with it. We tried. We tried.
If you're just listening after the fact, we are trying to get the machine to work, offering the appropriate incense and muttering the sacred hymns.
Muttering the sacred hymns. Why
Got to issue some percussive maintenance.
If I mean, what is the original hymn though? It's like unplug it, plug it in again.
I can always just unplug it, plug it back in again. That's a thing.
Have thou tried?
Literally what I'm about to do.
Unplugging it and plugging it back in again.
Alt F4. Control Alt Delete. It would be, right?
It's always not working because you're sitting here.
I like to think that the first thing we did in the war against the machines, when the AIs rose up, when the Men of Iron did all their funky stuff, is destroy all the printers. Just all the printers.
Yeah.
First to go. First on the hit list of humanity. Printer. Annihilated. Not worth it.
If I need a subscription service to do a basic thing that you're made for, like it's in your name, you're a printer.
Has anyone ever willingly printed in cyan? Why does my printer need to have cyan in it? Why does it care?
Why did it run out of cyan? What were you secretly cyan?
Exactly right. What is secretly cyan used for?
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. I don't know what you're talking about.
The hymns are just a series of curse words, says Joel. That is
Yep.
perfect. Perfectly said.
Explicatives deleted.
Do you know what we could do instead? Like if this doesn't work, Dusty, we could just start do the how far is X from London?
We can do that too.
Yeah.
Or an impromptu,
I'm happy to stitch that together.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, because I don't know why it's not working. It's just going to 0. It's starting in 0, and it's not starting.
All right. I'm going to do
Oblivion.
my hometown of Melbourne, which is just like in the southeast corner of Australia. How far is that to London? Directions to freaking London from Melbourne, Victoria.
Oh, wait, it's working.
Yes, I'd like to depart now.
It's working. They're just not showing the countdown.
Okay.
So how many differential points did World Eater score at Pura Cup this past weekend? There we go.
Ooh.
How many what? What'd you say?
How many differentials?
Differential points did World Eater score at the Pura Cup this past weekend?
I got it. I checked up mine.
So it is
the
working,
110001110110 definitely at KR.
That's 100%. That's 100% it. There's no way it's not. But that's not, the answer is actually 89 because it was just vanilla.
Yes,
but he scored a lot.
I feel like that one was. I feel like that one was unfair because I knew that because I looked.
Oh, hey, you're not the only one. You're not the only one.
I put the show together. Of course, I knew that one. He was first place. Yeah. Anyway, actually, sorry, I shouldn't say anything. Continue with these questions that I know. This is fantastic.
It's okay. There's none others that are put up from Pure Cup. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. We're going to go to the next one. We just don't see the number, the countdown, but it's working. It just was tricking me. All right. Next up, how many points does it cost to take a flying Redemptor Dreadnought, quote unquote? So basically,
ooh,
I think everybody watching this knows what I'm talking about. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
How many points does it cost to take a flying Redemptor Dreadnought?
Oh, I'm just going to take a punt. Yeah.
Okay. Got some good guesses in here.
Because I think they went up. I might be 10 points off.
It is 450 is the correct answer. It's basically a Redemptor Dread and a Stormreaver.
I love it.
And
spent all this time looking it up and then said, I'm just going to take a punt. I'm just going
to... There you go.
Love it.
There's actually quite a few people that got it right there. Downvoted people.
Nice.
Got it. Australia's tabletop wargame is just crushing it right now.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Nice. I'm struggling over here.
It's okay. We were disadvantaged. We didn't know the countdown, so we were a little off here, but we're fine. We're fine. Next one is coming up shortly now. How many points does it cost for max Satans? Max Satans.
So that's how many? Oh,
yeah.
Can you take? That's wild.
Can you take like 3 of the one and then one of each of the others?
Yeah. Because they're all different as well.
The answer to this one actually surprised me, to be honest. The answer is 1,615.
Oh, wow.
There are because it's the Deceiver, the Nightbringer, Void Dragon, and then 3 Satans.
It's 16, 17. Look, I put it in.
I thought that the named ones were a little bit cheaper than that.
They're
yeah. They're all toots.
Right.
Never mind. That was rough.
Yeah, nobody quite got.
Wait, it still took my vote. Sorry, actually,
you got a lot lower score because you took so long though.
Good. Because I thought I cheated there. Because I chucked it in after you said it.
All right. Next up, what is the most points a Tyranid Unending Swarm list can respawn with a single use of Unending Waves, which is the respawning? The most points a Tyranid Unending Swarm list can respawn with a single use of Unending Waves.
A single use. Oh,
single use.
Okay. So that is what is the price of the max point unit that they could refresh?
Yes.
And then you got to like, is are gargoyles the most? Termagants, Hormagaunts?
Gargoyles are the most, and it's 160.
Oh wow, I was way over. I put 210.
Yeah, that's actually like it's good, but the most expensive unending or like the endless multitude unit is the only one that works on is gargoyles.
Okay.
It's 160 is the answer there. Oh, 2,000 Nurgle Matt. What the heck?
That's what it feels like sometimes.
It feels like
Ooh,
a
a lot of Tyranids.
They just keep coming back. I don't
Nice.
understand. Adam is closest then, but you went over. Everybody went over. This was Price is Right. You all got wrong. You're all in.
everyone over.
You're all
We
out.
all suck.
Get that
You
red
all
X.
think a little too much of the Nids right now.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I thought they paid
Give a little too
appropriate
much
amount of
credit.
points for their
All right.
gargoyles.
Next up, how many points is double Avatar for Eldari?
Oh, now, damn. How much did the Yinkan go up? That's the question.
Yeah. How many points is double Avatar for Eldari?
It's a lot.
It's definitely not cheap.
Let's go with
Let's go with
750.
percents. What percent of the army?
760. Let's go 760.
Percent of the army.
76. No, 760.
The correct answer is 685. It's 235 for Kane, or 335 for Kane, and 350 for the.
Wait, is
Canada.
Kane still more expensive than the Yinkan?
No, it's 325 for him, or 335.
Okay. Yeah, I baked
close.
that pretty hard.
So close, so close. Oh, there were some closer ones there.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not
Not bad. Okay. All right. I like it. Next up. Looking at the scores here.
76.
76? What?
I missed the zero.
Oh,
I
you
was pressing the
missed the
down key
zero.
on my numpad and
Fat
pressed
keys.
enter.
Fat fingers.
You fat
All right, next
fingers,
up.
man.
How many rerolls can an Iron Storm Gladius Lancer potentially get with 2 shots of their Lancer Laser Destroyer? Say that again. How many rerolls can an Iron Storm Gladius Lancer potentially get with 2 shots of their Lancer Laser Destroyer?
Done. Slapped it down.
The math doesn't add up, Adam.
I know. It was hilarious. Funnier this way.
The answer is 6.
It's of course it's 6.
There's 2 shots. You have Oath to reroll both the hits. For
Yes.
the wound, you have 1 free reroll and one free reroll and the free reroll for Iron Storm. And then the damage, you have 1 free roll because of the Lancer and 1 CP. So 6.
Correct.
Basically,
And I'm like, you know what? If I just slap down 7 immediately, I still get good points.
that's true. You got a lot less than I thought you would, though.
Yeah, I know. It's bullshit. 'Cause
Oh.
Everyone else did well.
Yeah, Joel and Paul knew. He just knew. He was ready for that one.
I've been playing that Space Marines recently.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You know exactly what it was. Next up, how many points is a land fortress filled with 5 Hearthguard? How many points
With
is a
5
land
Hearthguard.
fortress filled with 5 Hearthguard? This is Votan for those of you not familiar with those units.
I think I'm over. Ooh. We got some big numbers here. 500, 560.
Hey,
I'm starting to question myself.
one of them's a land fortress, man.
Land Fortress is probably a lot of points. I've been like on the conservative
It is
scope with points.
385.
Wow.
160 for 5 Hearthguard and 225 for the land fortress.
I'm
Which is
close.
actually pretty cheap for what it is, but yeah, no, you're close there. All right. KR pulls in the most points because he got it in fast enough. 54 with aggressive 340. That was pretty close. I think that might have been the closest without going over. It was. Okay. And next up, Nurgle Matt at 480. Woo. So I actually probably would have guessed close to 480 as well, I think, because not knowing it offhand. Because Land Fortress and Hearthguard are like the 2 most expensive things in Votan, right? But all right, next up. How many points is a Goliath truck filled with 2 5-man Acolyte squads?
I was like, what's a Goliath truck and what's an Acolyte truck?
How many points is a Goliath truck filled with 2 5-man Acolyte squads? Here's for the GSC players. You guys get extra credit for this one.
I went 190 because I'm like, it's going to be like
I
80.
think the Goliath truck is like 110.
Oh, don't say that.
I think it is.
I'm like, it's going to be like between 80 and 100, and then
The
they're probably
answer
like
is
45 to 55 each.
280.
280.
Ah, see,
The-
three.
The
I knew it
Goliath,
was-
the Goliath truck is
Yeah.
110, Paul, but 5-man Ocklets is 85, and there's 2 of them in there.
I did
That's
almost put in
disgusting.
290. That's,
Ooh, that was
Yeah, wow.
really close ones there. Okay, well, most of them were over that were the closest, except 190. I wish they used to be.
Yeah, man.
They used to be, because the Ocklets used to be 45 points some time ago.
That's what I was going off. I was like, it's like
Wow.
80 to 100 for the thing, and then it's like they're about 45, 55 each.
Nope,
for
they
the
are
squads. And
85
I'm
now,
like,
my friend. They are
no.
so expensive now. Ooh.
Deaded in the
All
dirt.
right, next up, how many points is a 20-man Death Corps of Krieg unit with a Death Corps Marshal with no enhancement? How many points is a 20-man Death Corps of Krieg unit with a Death Corps Marshal with no enhancement?
240.
No
Let's
way.
go. Let's go.
240.
No way.
Ooh.
8 points per model for 10 guys, 60
10,
points for the Marshal.
55, okay, all right.
Let's do it.
Ooh, there's a couple
Pull it
160s
in.
in there. It is 190. 60 for the Marshal and 130 for the Death Corps unit itself.
Hey, I'll take it.
That's, I mean, it's
incredible ever.
KR closest just being 20 over at 210. That was people are thinking really cheap, 150 for all that. For 20 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah,
Bruh.
no, that's what I was thinking. Is 120, like 20 guardsmen is like 110 points.
True. The Death Corps are a bit more expensive. They are a bit more expensive.
Yeah, Scotty D, me and you, we were like first 2 questions plumb, and we're just like racing down here.
Here's
now.
the last one. How many rerolls to wound does a 5-man Rubric Marine squad naturally get in close combat against a unit on an objective? Once again, how many rerolls to wound does a 5-man Rubric Marine squad naturally get in close combat against a unit on an objective? Think about this one for a second. Don't get tricked.
Oh, I've done been tricked.
Yeah,
Done
I
got
think I've
tricked.
been tricked.
The answer is 0. They only reroll in shooting.
Oh, you son of a!
They don't have pistols? Do they have pistols?
That's not in close combat.
They're in close combat.
Oh, okay. You're gonna get tactical then. All right. Well,
No, I will not get technical.
No, it's a shooting phase, but yeah, good one, man. Good one. Got us.
gotcha. Gotcha.
But I put in the
Bam.
I was wrong, but I at least counted the champion. Camilleri
Sure.
did not count the champion.
I was wrong, but at least I put it in quickly. That's
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Be wrong with agility.
Be wrong quickly. And
yes.
that means the winner is KR with 353.1
Nice.
points, and then downvoting people in
Well
second
done.
with 343. Joel Atkins with 342. Oh, really close there. And then Paul comes in at 306, and Adam right behind that with 277. Australia's
You
Tabletop
understand,
Wargame. You guys
Paul.
started so strong. What happened? What happened?
Yeah.
It was great. All right. I
Wow.
hope you guys had fun with that. That was
That was great. No, thanks for putting that together, and I'm glad everybody got a chance to participate. That's one of the cool things. That's our show this week. We have talked about 3 great events, plus shout out to the events. Talk about also things happening in the community, highlighting what's changing out there. It is a wide open game. If you've got a list you want to try, now is the time to do it. There's no more opportunity to win, more opportunity to win out there than there has been, in the last few weeks.
Absolutely. And there is a lot of joy to be extracted from this meta as well. There's a lot of fun to be had. And hopefully you're out there getting as much of it as you can.
Well, seriously, thanks all for coming on, talking to us in the chat. Adam, Dustin, it's been a pleasure hanging out with y'all.
always a pleasure.
Always is.
We will see y'all next week, everybody. Good night.
We'll see you next
Take
week.
care.